Athletes, welcome back for another great day of fitness. We've got core, we've got burpees, and we got some hamstring work. So get ready and let's go. This is your warm up. We are starting now. Athletes are gonna go into double leg RDLs. So we're gonna keep our feet about shoulder width, hands start on your legs, and you are gonna slide down, keeping that back straight. When we start to feel our back round out, we're gonna stand back up. You should feel a heavy bias in your hamstrings and your glutes with this. If you feel this in your low back, think about sending those hips back slightly versus just leaning over. So we really wanna get those hamstrings warmed up for that single leg work that we have coming up. Next, what we're gonna do is we are going into up downs to seal pose. An up down is gonna be your burpee without the push up. You're gonna drop your hips to the floor and then you'll come back up. TJ is doing the jumping version. Clara is doing the stepping version. I'm gonna have TJ turn to the side and demo a couple reps for us. In this, we are getting prepped for those burpees that we have coming up, and we're just making sure we get our core prepped for all of the modified tuck ups and V ups that we have coming our way. Next, what we're gonna do is that athletes are gonna sit down on the floor and we are gonna go into a few regular sit-ups here. So with this, what we're gonna do is that we are gonna sit all the way back, touching the ground behind our heads, and then we're gonna throw our arms and we are gonna sit up. I'm gonna have athletes go through about 20 seconds of this, so go at your own pace. Think about exhaling as we sit up in that so that we can assist ourselves with the movement. That arm momentum will also help here. If we have difficulty with the sit-up, we can always take a pillow or something similar and put it behind our upper back so we don't go all the way down, and that'll decrease that range of motion. We're gonna hop back up and we're gonna go back into that double leg RDL. Now at this point, if you wanna practice your balance or get your setup for single leg, you can. I've got TJ going single leg. Clara's gonna stay with double here. I'm gonna have Clara turn to the side. Again, so when we go down here, you may have the flexibility and the mobility to go all the way down to the floor, but we do not want to round that back. As soon as we round that back, it starts to take the bias off of our hamstrings, and we're about to fire those things up. So we got to get them warmed up. We got to get them moving. Next, we're gonna move back into our seal pose, up down. So athletes are gonna go to their up down, drop the hips to the floor, and then we will come back up. Use this moment to get a nice little stretch at the bottom before you come back up. Again, we have a step up variation and we have our jumping variation. I'm gonna get one more rep from each athlete, and then we are gonna go back into our sit-ups. So as soon as you stand up, we're back down on the floor. And we are going into those sit-ups. At this point, if you want to throw in a few V-ups or if you want to practice your modified tuck-up, you can. Our modified tuck-up is hands behind our back on the floor, which I'll have Clara show in just a second. So place those hands on the floor for me, Clara, and then show us a couple modified tuck-ups. We are going for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. The workout is coming up, so grab your water, turn your phone on silent, and let's get ready to get some fitness in. Athletes, the workout is starting now. We got 10 seconds on the clock, so get ready. We're about to get a great workout in. 5, 3, 2, 1, and go. We are starting this 12-minute AMRAP with an ascending ladder of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, continuing to go up until we hit that time cap of our single leg RDLs, which we've got Clara doing assisted. We did a couple extra reps there, but it's the beginning of the workout. We got the workout nerves going, so we're making sure that we're getting those all out of the way in that first round. We've got TJ going through his line-facing burpees and his V-ups. We have Clara going through modified burpees and now onto her modified tuck-ups. These tuck-ups, hands are behind our back. We just did 3, we got 2. We're keeping it even numbers. We're going into our assisted RDLs again. So here you can see that Clara's using a chair to balance herself in the bottom. We're looking for a nice straight line from shoulders to heel, and she's getting down into a position that's gonna allow her to get full range of motion before we round that back out. For our modified burpee, what we have here, it's a step back, and then we can do our push-up portion to our knees if needed. So modify this as much as you need to so that you can keep yourself moving consistently and get all the way from full extension to the top to all the way down on the floor. TJ's onto his set of 6. So we've got our 6, which means he's doing 3 on each side, alternating on these RDLs. Again, as we talked about in the warm-up, we're going to a range of motion that allows us to keep our back nice and straight from our shoulder to our heel. Next, he's going into his line-facing burpees. On these line-facing burpees, if you don't have a line, you can make an imaginary one, but we're thinking about having 2 foot takeoff across that line at some point, and then going right into that next rep. When we have 6 here, it's obviously 3 on each side of the line. And a good key for when you're doing an even number of reps, you should be ending on the same side that you started on. So if you end on that far side, you either did 1 too few or 1 too many. Next, we're going into our V-ups. So our V-ups here can be something that'll be very easy to burn out on. So what we can do is we can do like TJ and touch our laces, or we can touch our shins, or we can touch our knees. So modify this as much as you need to with your range of motion. And the goal for today's workout is to try to continue moving. So what we want to do is that we can modify throughout, but I want to see a nice steady pace all the way through this workout, and let's keep those rest times to a minimum. Our modified tuck-ups here that Clara has, I'm going to challenge her, and let's make it a little bit easier. Let's go 1 leg at a time. So extend both legs out and then bring 1 leg in. So you guys can modify this as you need to fit what your needs are in this workout. Again, find a variation that's gonna allow you to move consistently here. If we need to build in a little bit of rest, we can, but we just have 12 minutes. That's all we've got. So I want you guys moving here, and let's see if we can maintain that for the entirety of this time. When Clara's going down here, you can see that she's using this chair as little as needed. So your assistance piece, if you need to use it all the way from the beginning of the movement, you most definitely can. Clara's familiar with this RDL, so she's going down to that full range of motion. If we need to stop a little bit sooner due to limitations or it just being a new movement for us, you can pick the range of motion on that movement that you want. Next, we're on to our modified burpees, and we are back into our V-ups. TJ is gonna touch his toes on these next couple reps, just like that. We're getting the good reps out of them. Clara back onto these modified burpees. Again, this modified burpee, modify this in any way that you need to so that we are ending on the floor and then we are standing full at the top. We want full extension in our hips and our knees. She's using a step back method, and then she's also doing a slight knee push up when she's going down to the floor and then coming up. We're back into this modified tuck up, and then we've got TJ onto his next round of these RDLs. I'm gonna have TJ extend this back leg out to make sure that we are using it for counterbalance, and I don't wanna see you guys leaning heavily one way or another when we're on these RDLs. If you're cheating that standard by kind of leaning out like this, we wanna straighten that up and keep yourself as balanced as possible. Clara's back onto these RDLs, and what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna have her use 1 hand to assist her with this now. So rather than both, she can use 1 hand and see if we add a little bit of a challenge there. If that's too challenging and you wanna use both hands, you most definitely can. TJ's back onto these line-facing burpees, setting a world record on this workout. This man showed up to perform just like you guys at home, so keep moving. You are doing a great job. We are currently 4 minutes and 40 seconds into this workout of 12 minutes. We're ascending, and if you're like me and you can't count when you're in the middle of a workout, it's fine to grab a little cheat sheet and mark down what you're doing. A whiteboard is always handy, so the next time you go out to the hardware store or Walmart, grab one so that you have those for these workouts at home. Claire's back onto the modified burpees. We've got TJ into his V-ups. With the V-ups, it is okay to rest at the bottom position and make full contact with the hands and the feet on the floor. If you want to challenge yourself and keep yourself in that hollow position, that was a no rep from TJ. We're redoing that side. Oh, that was another no rep. We're gonna redo that side. At this point, he's testing me to make sure that I'm paying attention, but I'm always watching. I'm watching you guys at home, not in a creepy way, but in a motivating way. So you're doing great, let's keep it up. And make sure that if we no rep like TJ just did, and he only did that for example's sake, that we don't count those reps and we get the good ones in. Again, when we're going into these when we're going into these RDLs, we are keeping ourselves balanced. So when TJ goes back with this left leg, I want to see hips balanced, and I do not want to see that lean side to side, because we are trying to get the most out of these movements that we can. We've got Clara going over into her single leg RDLs, doing a great job here. And I will modify this for her just briefly. So if this is too difficult, we can take this chair, we can spin it around, and we can use this to the side. So you guys can find any way that you want. If you want to use a wall in your house to assist yourself with, you totally can. But again, focus on keeping yourself balanced. I'm gonna stop you there, Clara, and I'm gonna flip this back around for you. TJ's back onto these line-facing burpees. With our line-facing burpees, if we have difficulty with the hop or it starts getting too intense, To keep yourself moving, I'm gonna tell you that you can rest by stepping over the line versus jumping. So I wanna challenge you guys to just continue to move in this workout. I know that it can seem a little bit daunting, but the great news is we're over halfway done. We are at 6:48 right now. So you are almost done with this workout. The hard part's out of the way, so it's all downhill from here, coasting down. That ascending rep scheme can be very, very mentally challenging. So what I need you to do right now, accept that those numbers are going up. See that as progress because you're doing fantastic building your way up this rep ladder. And we just want to focus on the very next rep that we have. Don't think about the 28 left that you have because Claire is on around 30, 32. I can't say numbers because I'm going to mess people up here. But keep track of where you're at in this workout and do not be overwhelmed by the ascending workout. When we're doing things like this, a personal thing that I like to do, and I know the athletes here like to do, is that take inventory because burpees can be a little bit boring. So be thankful that you can do this. Throw some style into your RDLs to save those reps if you need to. But we do try to make sure that every rep looks the same. But again, going back to the point that I had before, I want you guys to be thankful for the ability to show up today. We're thankful that you guys are here. We're thankful for everybody in the studio. We love having you in these workouts. And you want to think about when the workouts get really, really bad and you're starting to go to that dark place. Give thanks and show gratitude that you were able to show up today and do these movements. We're back into our modified tuck-ups for Clara. We're into these line-facing burpees for TJ. And again, to modify these a little bit if we need to, we can step over that line, which I'll have TJ show us on this next rep, which I know he's thankful for. Now, no more of those, TJ. You're hopping again. Going up by twos here. On our single leg movements, it is each side split. So if I've got 6 reps, it's 3 on each side. For our burpees, unfortunately, we don't get to split these. You got to do all of them. Claire's doing a great job with these RDLs. Now, you don't have to go slow on it. So if she feels comfortable with the range of motion, I'm gonna have her speed up slightly, just like that. And really find an object or something that you can use to assist yourself in this workout so that you can stay consistent, but you have the assistance that you need so that you can form the movement properly. Right now, we are hitting the 9-minute mark. So we got 3 minutes left in this workout. You guys are doing great. Let's go. You were 3/4 of the way done. My math is correct, and it is, I think. I hope so. It is. I've got it written on my hand. Good job, guys. Keep it moving here. Now, I'm not gonna give TJ a hard time, but these V-ups get very, very difficult. So what you can see is that he's taking recovery breath at the bottom, and then he's going right into his next rep. V-ups are a very, very sneaky movement, and a lot of times we don't think about it for a core exercise, but if you're on the road and you don't have equipment, this is a great piece to do. On these V-ups, again, we can modify the range of motion that we have. Standard is touching those toes, but if we touch laces, if we touch our socks, if we touch our shins, if we touch our knees, you pick the range of motion that works the best for you and can give you a challenge without forcing you into immediate burnout. Great job, athletes. Keep moving for me. We have 2 minutes left on the clock. Clara is back into these modified burpees. And we've got TJ on his RDLs. Again, as we get towards the end here, it can be very, very easy to start to try to sacrifice the form, but that's what we're all about today. I want to find a good balance between your technique and the intensity that you apply in this workout. I can see a little bit of a deviation from a perfect rep, but I don't want it to get to the point where you're starting to lean one way heavily or another, or you're starting to heavily rely on momentum in a movement that momentum is typically not used. We got TJ back into these burpees, his favorite movement of the day. It's the only reason he showed up today because he knew he'd be doing these. We got Clara back onto our assisted single leg RDLs. And you can notice that Clara is doing micro adjustments to her feet when she brings them back down to the floor. That's great. Don't get into a position that's not comfortable. So we want to make sure that you guys are safe and you feel comfortable with the movement that you're doing here. This is lighting up your hamstrings. I know that I did this one earlier today and it lit me up. I know where you're at right now, so stick with it. You guys are doing a fantastic job. The great news is that we've got 45 seconds left, 45 seconds left, athletes. So whatever you have right now, this is where I want you to push the pace. So go into that next gear. If you were number 2, I want you to go into number 3. We need to push, push, push here. You got 30 seconds left. We've got 30 seconds left on the clock. We got these modified burpees speeding up. We got V-ups from TJ, and I'm gonna push this pace now. I need you guys to match TJ's energy and try to challenge him right now. I know if you're going faster, he's gonna go faster. You got 15 seconds on the clock. Good job, athletes. Let's go, 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 go. We are almost done. You got less than 10 seconds here. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is a wrap. Athletes, great job as always on the fitness you brought today. I know those hamstrings are screaming. I know that core is lit up. So it's very important that you stick around for what we've got. Thank you again for showing up. If you enjoyed today's workout and you are not a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, we want you to join us. We offer programming that ranges from bodybuilding to CrossFit to regular gym workouts to at-home workouts to on-the-road workouts. Even if you're traveling for work, we've got something that will work for you. The athletes that are in the Mayhem Athlete community are like-minded. They will have similar goals to you and help push you so that you feel motivated and challenged on a day-to-day basis. So once again, thank you for showing up. Join the Mayhem Athlete community if you are not already a part of it. We've got our cooldown here, so please stick around for that mobility because it is one of the most important parts of your fitness routine. As always, be kind, be a good person, and we will see you again next time for our next workout.